How's it going, people? How's it going? Thomas Partey, eh? Talking about a while the last few days, thinking the Thomas Partey deal is dead and buried, and here we are. I'm not going to say we're pulling it out the bag because we're certainly not doing that. It's obvious that the Awar deal fell through. Jorginho was sniffed at, but Partey it is, and don't get it twisted. You guys know, obviously, if you're here, I see bare people in the chat already. Let me see what's going on in the chat. Jamie, come on as usual. The mods in the building. Anfield Road, big up man like Turkish. Great content, appreciate that, bro. If we don't get Partey, I won't be surprised. Listen, Partey alone doesn't solve all the issues, but we need and have needed a Thomas Partey for since Gilberto Silva, Patrick Vieira. When I think about it, he's better than Firmino, he's better than Alex Song, he's better than all of these so-called DMs slash whatever, centre mid slash whatever you want to call them. And I'm happy with the signing, but I'm still not happy with the transfer window. You guys know already. Ahmed here. Let me bring this one up. AFC Bell, the only in the know we can trust. I'm sure people have seen that. I did not call him out this morning or call him out, but I tweeted that, listen, he's sticking by his word in the morning that Thomas Partey deal is not dead and buried, which you kind of got to do. You know, you've said it, you kind of got to stick to it. Last day of the window, and it came through, and I hold my hands up. Hold my hands up. He was right, or she was right, or they was right this time. So I just got a message come through. But yeah, as you can see, Robbie and Rants will be joining soon, and we'll talk about the transfer window and the deadline day and whatever else. Muzzy saying Awar is coming. I really doubt that, bro. I really doubt that. Like, one step at a time with Arsenal, and this is a bigger step than I think I expected them to do, because near the end, I thought, you know what, we're actually not going to do it. We're probably going to go against Samare or Buendia and call it a day. But in reality, Thomas Partey is the one I wanted out of him and Awar if it came down to the choice. But I also know, and you guys need to know, that Awar is completely different to Thomas Partey. So going for both types of players indicates we need both types of skill sets. We need what Thomas Partey can bring and will bring, and we need what Awar would have brought if we could have got that over the line. And we don't get what Awar could bring with Partey. There is still potential to get somebody, maybe domestically, Buendia or Ben Rama, someone like that, I guess. Because don't get me wrong, it's not ideal, but at the same time, when is it ever ideal at Arsenal Football Club? It never really is, and that's a shame to say, because one ideal transfer window, you know, could really kick us on, especially right now with Mikel Arteta and the way things are set up in the next year with Mustafi's contract, Socrates, all these men. To be honest, they might even leave today. Let me check my messages before one of them leave during the live. But it is what it is, people. Let me know in the comments what you guys think about Thomas Partey. Add me on Instagram, add me on Twitter, Turkish LDN. Download the OneFootball app. There's a link in the description box below. And yeah, it is what it is. Thomas Partey, we'll discuss him more in a bit when Robbie comes on. Obviously, Guendouzi's gone to Hertha Berlin. That story's come to an end. You know, a 2-year story. Was it 2 years? Yeah, it was 2 years, isn't it? Fucking hell, that just been and gone just like that. More time wasted from post-Wenger. We wasted another summer transfer window, but it is a close to a chapter for Guendouzi, because I did have faith in him. I did think he would come through. I still think he has the potential to be a top player, but at the same time, Hertha Berlin being the team coming in for him at this late stage kind of tells me that other teams must have heard something that we haven't, or something that we pretty much might know in terms of his attitude and his problems there. So I guess Hertha Berlin, he can use them as a stepping stone. And if he does get his act together, I do expect him to be a top player. But at the same time, you stick with Arteta on the matter, because if anyone has been a manager that's watching this live right now or watching it later on, you all know that managing someone and them coming in and failing to take ownership of a situation that they was fully involved in and fully behind, I think you know, you can only do one thing. Failure to apologize means you have to leave, and that's what's happened. And I have to back Arteta with that as much as I did like Guendouzi. With Torreira now, obviously he's taken all the pictures. You've seen him in the mask of Atletico Madrid and all of that stuff. But it's rumors, and this ain't AFC Bell, this ain't fucking Fabrizio Romano, who's also got shit wrong recently with Kolasinac, because that guy's still here. I'm sure he's still here. Let me know in the comments if we've moved Kolasinac on in the last 10 minutes or so, because I checked before I came on and he's still at the club. So I don't know what Fabrizio Romano is talking about. Arkan says Fabrizio just confirmed Partey is flying to London now. Boy, it is what it is. Flying to London now for what? The medical, or would he have done that? What's going on? These are trying to bring out a quick advert, innit? Something like that. I'm sure of it. Something like that. Probably won't get confirmed till tomorrow. Like, what's the time now? 6 o'clock, 5 hours left of the window. It's one of those ones where, you know what, I'll get done and dusted today, and then we'll be waiting until the morning, and then you'll probably see a big video come out tomorrow afternoon. Charles Watts asking the pregnant questions in the presser, and Breaker, the 30 transfer news in the day. His stock has gone up. To be honest, he's there at the games as well, so you know he's 30 in and around the team and squad and admin and all of that shit, because he's there. During COVID, he's there. So if you're going to listen to anyone, it's going to be people like that. And even people like that won't get the full scoop on things, because at the end of the day, most clubs keep things tight-lipped nowadays, let alone Arsenal, who always have done. Matt Greek, Turkish, I'm glad. And thanks, Matt, for tuning in. As always, come on, you've been a supporter from a long time ago. Turkish, I'm glad Guendouzi is loan only. I still have hopes for him. I think he has some real talent. And if you was tuned in, Matt, I literally said the same thing. You know, I didn't even think about the thought of him coming back. You know, him coming back, why not? Why not? At the end of the day, depending on how the loan goes, I haven't heard there's an obligation or even an option to buy, to be honest, but I'm sure there's no obligation to buy. And I think that, you know, we'll have to assess the situation again next summer. We have to take one step at a time and see how this season goes, because this season, I'm sure it's going to be another roller coaster. You know, even with Thomas Partey, you know, I know, everyone knows, we lack creativity. We lack something in the middle that Thomas Partey is not going to bring. As much as he brings the 50% we need, we still lack the other 50%, because it's like 0% in midfield right now. Now, Ceballos can do something alongside Partey. He can do something alongside Partey, but Ceballos needs to, you know, start kicking on a bit. What is he, 23 years of age now? You know, second season at the club. Like, come on. Like, I'm expecting big things. If all that potential was to be believed last year, you know, at the end of the day, I understand there's a transition and whatnot, and at Arsenal, the transition, let alone just English football, but the club, the fans, the atmosphere, the toxic, you know, nature of the board and how things are run, you know, it's not the best platform. Free managers, all of that stuff, it affects everybody. Ceballos, Pepe, whoever else we've signed, Guendouzi, obviously he went from first team under Emery to banished under Arteta, but it's completely understandable. So let's see what the comments are saying. Medical done in Spain. Well, medical done in Spain, and what's he flying over here for straight away? He might as well get his stuff, relax a bit. It's probably the video. He's got a couple of weeks left anyway. He can go back there and sort out his stuff. And I ain't seen that. I ain't seen the striker, Nikolai Moller. What's his name? Das Moller. 18 years old, tall guy, likened to Ibra and the things I've read, but I've never seen him. I've never heard of him. There's not much about him. Even someone in my WhatsApp group sent a snapshot of YouTube, and they searched his name and there were no results. So I don't know. One for the future. I think we've got young signings pretty bang on in recent times in terms of Guendouzi, Martinelli. They were very good young signings, so it might be one to look out for. We'll see how that one goes, but it's not one to really care about yet. We see other fans in the chat. We love you, Tottenham. We do, you know. Come on, don't ever come in the chat with that stuff. Mods, do your thing. Give him a warning, and that's now. I'm joking. You can't kick a man out, but don't be writing that all over the gaff. I think you'll be pleasantly surprised by Partey's ability going forward. No, I know he can break the lines well, and I know he's a lot more box to box than people think. I'm a big fan of Partey, and I'm a big fan of Simeone, and I'm a big fan of Arsenal. I mean, Atletico Madrid, in terms of how they've done over the last 5, 6, 7 years. Because to win a league in Spain, and they won it when Messi and Ronaldo were there, massive. To get to 2 Champions League finals with that team, with that budget, and people are going to say they spend money, but they pretty much do what Wolves have done this season in terms of they spend exactly what they make in that season, and it is what it is. Like if they sell Griezmann for 100, Felix comes in for 100, and they've always done that from Falcao to Aguero to Torres to Jackson Martinez, Costa, like Morata. They've just Suarez. They just keep on, you know. Atletico have a good system in place that's you know, not maybe won them as many things as you would like, maybe being an Arsenal fan, but competing in Spain on that budget with that team, Simeone's done wonders. Hence why I would have liked him, but at the same time, Arteta's the man. Time to back him, because like I said, if you had even Sir Alex Ferguson in charge of Arsenal Football Club right now, with Prime Wenger, with Pep Guardiola as assistant, it doesn't matter unless you get the right support. You know, there's only so much you can do. And Arteta even alluded to that a few weeks ago or last week after the West Ham game, Liverpool game, when he was asked, and I mentioned it before, but there's nearly 500 people on here, so I might as well mention it again. Hit the like button if you haven't already. Robbie and Rants should be coming on in about 10 minutes. I told them, 20 past? So they should be coming on soon. Let me give them a little message now and give them a reminder. Where are we? 12 minutes in. It's still early, but like I said, King Dave, yeah, I don't get it twisted. I don't underestimate Thomas Partey's ability all round. I just know what he brings and the mentality he's going to have under Simeone for all these years. Something we need. Sorry for going inside. Let me just message these, man, and that's that. Yeah, but talk to me, people. What else is going on? Kolasinac needs to go. I'm hearing Mustafi Lazio is completely off, or if that one was ever true, then it's not happening anymore. But yeah, people, get the questions in and we will talk. Robbie's coming in now, so we'll get him on shortly. Let's see what the questions are saying. Martin is in the chat as usual. Big up Turkish. It's nice and a relief to not speculate anymore and just talk about players at Arsenal and discuss what and how they fit and what they bring. And you're right, Martin. You know, we tend to agree more often than not. But listen, people, Don Robbie's in the building. You can't keep the man waiting long, so let me bring him in right now. What are you saying, G?
Good, man. I'm good.
Yeah.
Just keep up to date with this transfer news, which is looking good, man. It's looking like good news.
Yeah, semi-good news.
I knew you.
You know me, Rob. You're on my channel today. You know this.
I know Turkish, man. This guy's cold. Turkish. Listen, Turkish, if we get Partey, which is what it's looking like it's going to be Partey, and me and you've had conversations on this, and I said to you that for me, out of the two of them, Aouar and Partey, I'm like you. I'd love to get both, but if we can only get one, I thought Partey. I've just been looking at it and say, just fix the spine of this team. Even the other day, I was watching an old game with Vieira playing, and I was just like, I just long for a player like that.
Yeah.
And everybody always looks on it and says Vieira holding midfielder. He wasn't really. He was a box-to-box midfielder who was solid in there. You know what I mean? Yeah. And I think this guy, from what I've seen of him, is very similar to that. Very similar, in a similar vein. He's not Vieira, but he's in a similar vein. And I just think it's the type of player we've been crying out for a very, very long time. And if we're only going to get one of them, and let's be real, this morning it was looking like none.
Yeah, Rob, don't even talk about this morning. I put it on one of them in the nose on Twitter, and this morning talking about Partey. Yeah, a few hours later, Partey signing. I'm like, oh shit, I got.
But no, you know, I mean, I personally think, and we're at the office at the moment. We were just discussing it, and James here was asked to grade. What would you grade the window out of 10 if Partey does sign? And he said an 8 out of 10. And I think I'd have to agree with that. If you don't think so?
Nah, that's too generous. Too generous, because you've got to take into account how soon you make those moves. And Thomas Partey is a release clause, Rob. We could have got Thomas Partey in day one of the transfer window. It's umming and ahhing about everything else. And like, I agree that he is the one that I'd prefer over Aouar. As fans, we know we've lacked that for years. So why not go and do him early? Give the fans something early, relax that, you know, pressure a bit, and then get little things done as we go. And
yeah, but I think, Turkish, you've got to remember there was a lot of business being done, right? When I say a lot of business being done, there was one critical piece of business that was even more important than that, and that was to get Aubameyang done. And remember, that was taking a long time, right? And we got that done in the end, right? So when I analyze the window and I say we got Aubameyang signed on, which normally under normal years he's gone, right? Aubameyang's gone on his way to wherever, right? We managed to secure him. Gabriel, who I think has been an excellent signing, I really do. Willian, I think was a sensible signing. I could understand it. It was a sensible signing. And with Partey as well, I didn't look on it, and I take into account everything that's been happening around this window, and I would give it an 8. I would give it an 8. If Aouar would have come in, I would have given it a 10. Because, you know, but I just look on it and I say we have to be real. There's a lot of players even still at Arsenal that Arsenal need to move on, and you can see the difficulty they're having in getting players out. Nobody wants our players at the moment.
And that is part of the problem, Rob. You know, for example, earlier on I was on someone else's channel and I said to them, yeah, like someone asked me to rate the window, and I said 6 out of 10, Rob. That's how I rate the window with Partey. Yeah. And some of that reason is being more reactive than proactive, like I just said. But some of that reason is also like, you look at Brewster going for 23.5 mil. Surely we can get 25 mil for Eddie. Yeah, surely. Move Oba up top, put Laka behind, put Saka left wing, you got 25 million spare. And then you look at potentially right back and you look at business done already. You look at Doherty going for 13 mil. Doherty is a very good right back, top 3 in this league, 28 years old, and he supports Arsenal. And he will play the way that Arteta needs with the overlapping fullback. You bring him in for 13 mil. You sell 2 of our right backs, because we've got 3, Cedric, Maitland, Niles, Bellerin. You sell 2, you make another maybe 30 mil off Bellerin if you've got people with Niles working above. That's 55 mil. Maybe you get another 10 for the other one, or you don't sign Cedric. That's like 60 mil there. Then you can go and buy Aouar and Partey. You've shifted some people out that you need to shift. You've improved multiple areas through little business. And obviously at the start of the summer, Rob, I didn't know you could get Doherty for 13 mil. I didn't know Brewster would go for 23.5, but they should know. And it's not due diligence, I'd call it, that they
have. Yeah, but they didn't want to sell Eddie.
Sell who?
They didn't want to sell Eddie Nketiah. So, you know, I mean, that's a bit different, isn't it? They didn't want to sell him. And then, as I said, there's been a lot of players that have been linked with moves away. So Hector Bellerin was linked with a move away, but then nobody really came in for him. So you've got teams have got to want these players, isn't it? You see something like Kolasinac, for instance. Look how difficult they're finding it to get rid of him. There was talk that he'd go to Leverkusen. That looks like that might have fallen through. Socrates is supposed to go to Napoli. That might not happen. There's been so many deals, and they've been trying to get money in to try and maybe if they'd have got a load of that money in. And the one that I think that they really thought that they'd definitely get a load of money in for was Guendouzi. And there's nobody out there really willing to cough up that sort of money. Yeah. So I think, you know, when you take all that into account, and the fact that we still, by the looks of it, going to be able to get Partey, I think it's been a good window. I really do. I think, you know, under the circumstances, I've got to look on it and say they've done well. I mean, yesterday everybody wanted to kill Edu. I think today, right, they have to then take that back and say, no, actually, he's done well. And remember, he doesn't have, I don't care what Mikel Arteta says about the full backing. The full backing doesn't extend like what Frank Lampard has at Chelsea or whatever. Those sort of funds are not there. So under the circumstances, to me, I would give the window an 8 out of 10 with Partey in there. That's a very, very good signing. You can always tell when something's a good signing. You speak to fans of other clubs.
Yeah, he's a massive signing.
They're like, hey, You know, I see a lot of Man United fans, despite them signing Cavani, they're signing this Alex Telles, a good player actually.
Yeah,
right? Despite them signing them, are still saying that we've had a better window than them. So, you know.
Thomas Partey is massive, Rob. I can't lie to you. Yeah. I don't know if you remember, but the last couple of years when the managerial debates have come about, I always said Simeone. Like I've looked at Atletico a lot in the last 5, 6, 7 years because they're a team that they don't work on a shoestring budget, but they spend what they make. If they sell Griezmann for 100, they buy Felix for 100. And I wonder how they win La Liga. How are they're doing it in Simeone's way? And if Partey's been under Simeone's way for these years, he's going to bring a mentality. And he's going to bring a know-how where he can teach others around him. You know, he can make them better.
Just going back to it, even just to show you again how hard it is to get some of these deals done. We've been negotiating with him for Torreira, and they still didn't even want to talk to us about Partey. You know what I mean? So, you know, it just, I think it's been a very tough window to get some of these deals over the line.
How did Chelsea do it all the time?
Because they got loads of money.
Yeah, but even United,
our owner basically who bankrolls the club, and we know that we don't have that. We don't have an owner bank. They got an owner, and then Chelsea have been very lucky in this window in that they also, to be fair to Chelsea, recently they've been trying to spend within their means and stuff like that. They had a load of money in for Hazard and things like that, and then they had free transfer windows when they couldn't spend any money. So it's been kind of worked out nicely for them, and they've been able to bring in a lot of players. But apart from them, I mean, Manchester City are Man City, and they've just gone out there and gone mad as usual in the window. But everybody else, you know, they've had to be trying to live, you know, within their means. But I have to admit, had we have not, and as I said, it ain't done yet, but the Partey thing, if that's not done, then that goes from an 8 out of 10 to probably something like a 4 or 5.
Whoa! I'd go to a 2.
Yeah, it would have been a poor window without this signing.
Yeah.
Listen, I've been doing this transfer thing for the last 7 odd years since I've been doing Aftv, and I've had so many disappointments with windows. Like, I always remember that window when we signed Petr Cech.
Yeah,
and I was
like, that was it.
That it. With all the players we needed, a goalkeeper, that's it.
Yeah. Even when we look back at this window, Rob, what I also, for me to hit them numbers with the transfer window, I need to see my club move correct as well, because we never do. It's either early we do business and then nothing else, or we leave business till late, like how we signed Mikel Arteta and Park Chu-young and Yossi Benayoun in the last week. Do you know what I mean? So our manager even came in the last deadline day. So for me, definitely, if I start seeing that next season and moving forward, I'll start hitting them numbers. But Rob, I want to ask you, we've got 10 days left of what, the domestic market too, yeah? I agree with you, Partey is the one over Aouar if we have to pick one. But we have Buendia at Norwich and we have Benrahma at Brentford, who will bring creativity at probably a decent price, yeah? And that for me would push it to an 8. And I want to ask you, would you look at them, or would you wait till next summer for the ideal person?
I think I'll wait till next summer. I just think you know, there's Todd Cantwell as well that I was looking at is a decent
Arsenal fan as well. Yeah,
I'm just looking at it and saying, right, if you get Partey and you can push Ceballos up higher up the pitch, and I kind of want us to get what we want, what we really want. I think next summer is the biggest window for Mikel Arteta.
Yeah.
Ozil will be gone. Mustafi will be gone. There's loads of them. Their contracts are up, right? And Socrates. So they're not going to have to worry about the selling of these guys. I think January is going to be quite a busy window in offloading players, because a lot of those players are going to be. I think there's certain teams that have looked on it and said, well, let me wait until January before I buy a Socrates or something, could be cheaper.
5 million.
I think January is going to, and then I think next summer, when a lot of the decks are cleared, that's a huge window. Huge.
Imagine when you think about it, 350 comes off with Ozil, 100 comes off with Mustafi, 90 comes off with Socrates. That's touching 600, 700K a week is coming off.
So you can go out there, you can go there and you can get that real top quality player. Maybe they're looking on it and saying, maybe that's why they haven't gone for a while. Maybe they're saying we'll wait until then. However, the only problem with that is that next summer, Real Madrid and PSG and all them, they'll be in for him because it's not, you know, hopefully, fingers crossed, we'll be out of this pandemic and teams will be spending again. And even with this pandemic, I suppose spending has still been quite big, you know, so. But I think it's going to be a huge window for us.
No, so I think someone mentioned earlier that even with Partey signing, Leeds have outspent us this window, you know. So people have spent money, you know. And
Everton have spent a lot of money.
Who?
Aston Villa, Everton, Aston Villa, they've all spent a lot of money. That's why it was so important to get one. If honestly, I think had we have not pulled off something today, as I said, it's not completed yet, but it'd be absolute meltdown. I've had so many people messaging me today, angry this morning, angry. And I'm not even talking about people like you, Turkish, I know.
Yeah, tell them it wasn't me.
I'm talking about people that are normally mild-mannered. And they'll be like, oh, yeah, no, let's get behind the team, Rob. Right? Those men are messaging me saying, Robbie, come on, we got to get this guy Kroenke out. That's how it was very important that we pulled off something. So
message them back. Message them back, Rob, and say it's still Kroenke out from Turkey. Trust me on that. It's still Kroenke out. And if they don't see it now, few months, Rob, I give it, and you will all see it again. Because you said something there, Rob, yeah? You said with Arteta, you said next summer's a big summer, yeah? And I worry about that statement because if it goes pear-shaped like it did for Emery, yeah, can we even say Arteta will be here? Because the fans need to understand now that it is all on the board now rather than the manager. Because as much as Partey is a wonderful signing, we didn't do enough yet again, in my opinion. Even if you say it's an 8, it's not a 10. I think we deserve a 10 window for once in our lives, because we haven't done that. Even back in the day, it was shrewd signings. It was never 10 windows where you're like, yeah, we're winning the league now. That's it. Like, it's ours. Well, when we had Henry and that, it's a different thing. But after that, I mean, and so it's like, are you 100% certain whatever happens this season, Arteta will be the manager next summer?
Well, you can't say that, can you? Because,
yes,
you know,
and it's bad.
Football is football. You know what I mean? If Arteta, after getting these signings, absolutely bombed out, you know, he's gone. That's how football works.
Yeah.
I'm sure he knows that as well. So he's still got to perform with what he's got, but it gives him a chance. And that's what I wanted to see. I wanted to see them backing this guy because I like Mikel Arteta. I think he's a very good manager. I like it, the fact that he's thinking tactics, you know, and I think he's a manager that's going to get better, but he has to be backed. You can be a great manager. I think that guy at Brighton,
yeah,
he's a great manager. I think he's a very, very good manager, but he ain't got the players because they haven't got the budget. So, you know what I mean? That's why he lost to Man United. If he had a couple killers up front when he played against Man United the other day, they would have smashed United up like what Tottenham were able to do the other day.
Yeah.
So a lot of it is to do with personnel. You've got to have quality players. Those are the quality players that win you games. We saw it, you know, yesterday in a very tight game against Sheffield United. Pepe comes on, changes the whole thing. He's able to unlock it, but you've had to pay 70 or million for them type of players. So you've got to back these managers. You have to. If you don't back them, they can do, you know, tactically, and they can work little miracles for a time, but then it all falls apart. But we got to.
Yeah, no, 100%, because there is an argument back now that, like, the common argument back we hear now off the back of what you just said is, but we have spent money. And I don't think me and you disagree with that. We have spent money, but we've misspent it. And failing to see that the ownership is where the buck stops, because whoever did misspend that money is hired by Kroenke. And it was misspent again after that with Torreira, Guendouzi, because you can see it was selling them 2 years later. So it stops at Kroenke. The process started at Kroenke. Hence why it's such a balance for me where I'm like, I love Arteta and what he's saying so far. And I want him to succeed and I want him to be backed. But at the same time, if he's not backed, it's like this, because I know how volatile it can get for the manager at times. And I don't want to lose a good manager Because look at what he done to Wenger at the club. That's Kroenke's fault what happened to Wenger. You know, it's nobody else's but his. And I don't want it to keep on happening to other managers since, because if it can happen to Wenger, it can happen to anyone.
Yeah, no, listen, it can happen to any manager. Any manager. If you, as I said, if you're a manager and you're not performing, you're out the door. So, and listen, if they're backing him and he's not performing, he will be out the door.
Yeah, yeah.
You know? No, and the same people like that are bigging him up now will be saying, boy, he's got to go. That's how a management thing works. You know what I mean? People want success. So, but as I said, the key for me is giving the person the tools to succeed. What disappointed me about Emery last year is that he didn't have all the tools, obviously, but he was given some tools to improve, and he got worse. So that's why I'm saying, you know, we've got a good manager. You know, you look at Manchester United, I look at their team. They go, oh, let's get this player, that player. That. They've got good players. The manager's not good enough, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So let's, you know, but certainly it's pleasing, but this board need to do more. This is just a, like you said, that's a start.
Yeah, that's definitely a start.
Because we have to remember they've been here for a very long time, over 10 years. They've been in charge of this football club, right?
Yeah.
And so getting Thomas Partey now is great, but that's still, you have still been messing up for a long time. You need to show us you put in place a good manager. Now back him, and then you start to win the trust of the fans.
Because you don't want to look back on Partey this season and Pepe last season and say to ourselves the same thing we said essentially when we signed Ozil one summer, Sanchez one summer, Cech one summer, and we said to ourselves after 3 years we should have signed them all in the same summer if we really meant business. So it's time to start picking up the pace now. You've done Pepe, you've done Saliba, you've done a few good things last summer. You've ended this one on somewhat of a positive with Thomas Partey, but it's what you do now, because we can't take this slow-mo, this reactive approach. And obviously we've got Rants coming in now. Speaking of good players and a poor manager, he was bang on time. You know, he was bang on time. What are you saying, bro?
I'm good, fam. I'm good. What are you man saying, boy? I see the Partey news, you know. I'm shook. Oi, my club is finished.
I was sending you a message. You know, I don't know if you saw. I texted you yesterday.
No, you probably messaged
I was trying to find out.
Number. Oh, you're a fool, man. I'm fine, you know. I'm fine, bruv. Listen, man's trending. Bruv, I'm trending on YouTube. Man. Bruv, I'm fine. I'm trending on YouTube. My life is good in it. You know the one there. I'm fine. You know, like that. Come on. It's what it is. My club are losing, but boy, I'm winning, innit? Life is what it is, innit?
So what are you saying, man? I'm not happy with anything today so far.
Bruv, I've not been keeping up with it. I don't care. I'm gonna go and check all the transfer news at 10 p.m. Before then, I don't care. I heard about Tellers, but bruv, man heard about that yesterday or the day before. I don't care. I haven't seen anyone being signed that wasn't signed yesterday. The Cavani thing, man heard about 2 days ago. Still not good enough, innit?
Yeah.
If I don't see a Sancho or a Dembele by the end of the transfer window, then I don't care, innit?
Rants, do you need? Because I look at it, I think Tellez is good.
We do need Sancho. The reason why we need Sancho, is because our manager is an absolute joke, and we need all the quality we can get, because this guy is a bum, bro. Like, man's a Norwegian lawnmower. He should be mowing the pitch. He should not be in the dugout, bro.
That's a Norwegian lawnmower.
He's a lawnmower, bruv. He's a gardener. That's what he should be doing, bro. He should be gardening.
You man signed the right winger, though.
What are you talking about?
You man signed that. Didn't they sign that Traore guy today, Rob?
Yeah.
Ahmad Traore from Atalanta.
And I love that, man. Man ain't trying to see no Traore, blood. Like
30 mil.
Nah, you're lying to me, bruv.
Let me just say, right, for me,
bruv, I haven't been on Twitter today, bro. I've been busy. I went gym. I went and got food. I just been chilling in it. I haven't been keeping up with it. If man actually bought some flipping Atalanta like Rebo Traore, not even the one that man would have even half wanted. If man end up with that later, man, with some Oxfam signing and that. No, you dumb.
No, we see this is the problem here. You're just going after big names.
Forget big names, bro. We've got a dead manager. We don't have a manager, yeah, that has a system where you could bring in a substandard player, yeah, and them look decent. We already signed Dan James last season for 25 million, and he wasn't the business. And then you're gonna sign some next brother from Atalanta and that. Nah, get out of town, bro. I'm not here for any of that. Not here for none of that. If you're telling me that this is facts, these men are smoking the madness at Old Trafford if they're signing some flipping.
I'm pretty sure that's facts, you know.
Bro, anyhow that happens, bro.
Yeah, I'm sure. Let me check that. I'm sure that.
I'm still saying S at the end. It's happened, fam.
Bro, if that happens, I'm going viral tonight again, bro. Them man, I'm dragging them through the dirt. Are you taking the piss? Traore? Who? Shut up. I don't want to hear none of that. Wow. Now you're taking the piss. I saw Tellez. And I saw Cavani. I never see no Traore, bro. If that man ended up signing that guy, bro.
Yeah, no. Traore. Oh, Man United in talks to sign.
Oh, talks. Cool. We ain't signed
teenage wingers, Traore and Pelistri.
That Pelistri is going straight into the reserves, blood. Like,
I think both of those players they were talking about. If they sign them, they're more to go into the reserve team.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. When you were saying Traore, I said, nah, that ain't no first team signing. Because if that is, fam, it's mad.
What I'm saying is, right, on the Jadon Sancho things, right? I look at your team, and up front, and a lot of United fans were telling me this last year how hot your front line is.
Bruv, they scored more goals than Liverpool's front line, bro. We've got goals in the front line.
What's the big... To me, when I look at the team, the problem's at the back.
Bruv, the problems with the whole team, fam. You know what I mean? You've seen it, yeah? You've seen what your manager's done to your defense just by adding some structure. Do you know what I'm saying? That's all it is, adding structure. We don't have the structure there. Defenders get isolated. They're under pressure. Like, they're having to defend one-on-one, and they're not good enough individually. But a good manager can fix that. You don't need to buy players to fix that defense.
Yeah, bro. I can't lie.
I'm a bit surprised, Rants, yeah? I'm not saying he's a bad player. I think he's a good player, Cavani. Yeah, I'm a bit surprised because it just seems like it's a panic buy because your fans are being told that listen, we're not going to buy them type of players no more. We're going to buy young, hungry players. So
Manchester United have categorically come out and said, and I know from like inside information that them man were looking to buy under 23 in it with resale value. That was supposed to be their new thing, and then they go and spend money on like another Reebok Zlatan signing where man's like 33, his legs are gone, he's not the same kind of player, and he relies on service as well, and we're not creating that many chances. Like signing Cavani, like that doesn't do nothing. That's more like a big name just to appease the fans, isn't it? Like it's a nothing signing, bro. It's another Falcao signing. Like it doesn't make no sense. It's the dumbest signing, bro. I can't get excited by that. Unless you're bringing in a winger that's going to put loads of chances in front of this guy. What does this signing mean, bro? Like he doesn't come in and start for us. Like what's the point? Like
if you got Rashford on one side and Cavani down the middle, and then you've got
unless you play Rashford and Martial, play Rashford on the right, Martial on the left, and play Cavani down the middle and drop Mason. Cool. I wouldn't mind seeing Rashford on the right wing, but I don't think Oli will do that. So,
but that's why it reminds me of our window as well. You just are obviously you're a bigger club. You have more money. We've basically done the same thing in terms of appeasing the fans. You know, we've pulled one name at the bag, which for our fan base, the way we've been starved over the years. You feed us a can of beans right now, we're going to act like we're having a gourmet meal. Do you get what I'm saying? With United fans, obviously they expect more because they spend more, but it's the same shit again. If you don't have direction at the start of a transfer window, if you don't get your targets early, then it's like it can end up this way. And that's why I'm not that excited too, Rob.
I slightly disagree with though. I don't think it is the same as United's because I think we've bought players that suit what we want to do. Yeah, and I agree with what Rants is saying because Cavani, don't get me wrong, Cavani could come into the Premier League. He could tear it up. But I just look on it and I say, do they really? That is a signing for me to appease the fans, definitely. Partey, yeah, it appeases the fans.
But he's a bad boy player, bruv.
We need a player like that.
What you needed.
Like that.
100%. He's a sick player.
I think
Thomas Partey has taken you man clear of us now, bloody. Unless we do a madness. That's how I feel about it.
Yeah, it's a player that we needed. We needed a player like that. And I think I look at her, say, Gabriel, that's another player
that you needed.
Suits what we're trying to do. We need it, you know what I mean? He suits the type of defender, the profile that Mikel Arteta was afterwards. So I look at it a bit different. Whereas with United, I looking at, as I said, with Cavani, and I'm like, did they really?
You see what I worry with, Rob? You see with Rants, yeah? The way Rants is looking at United now, like, he's just fucked, like, he's pissed, innit? Over the years, they fucked him up. It's the same with me and Arsenal, innit? So you see with Arsenal, yeah, I'm looking at it like, we're still going to have creativity issues in the next season because Partey doesn't solve that. And now the creativity attacking problems might haunt the whole team because obviously you need to have a good attack to be making top 4. Now, similar to Man United, I think Pochettino coming in November, December, January, because it's going to happen in terms of Ole getting sacked. Pochettino coming in flips them like that because they've got quality players but no direction. Pochettino brings in direction, and just like that, United will be back. Whereas Arsenal is still...
and that's why I said to you, Turkish, that, you know, next season, summer, is critical. We haven't got all that we've needed in this window. We haven't. But
you're going the right way, though.
What we have got has been a step in the right direction, in my opinion. Especially watching how we've done windows over the years. It's been disastrous. I think it's a step in the right direction when we do have players that suit the system. And that's what I like, what he's done. Even, you know, the signing of Gabriel, I think, could turn out to be one of those very, very... I mean, United were interested in him as well.
Couldn't get it over the line. Do you know what I'm saying? It's just
he's looking a real player to me. So, you know, and again, let's remember, I think one of the most important ones was keeping Aubameyang as well, because over the years, Aubameyang's gone. Aubameyang will be total turmoil at Arsenal. So positive. I'm positive about the window. If Partey signs, I'm positive. I think it's not. You're right. We still could do with a creative midfielder. But sometimes you can't get everything at one time. You know what I mean? You're going to have to add that part of the jigsaw a little bit later. But, you know, I think we could push Ceballos a bit further up. And
well, hopefully. It's a massive year for Ceballos too. Second season in the Prem. Partey's coming in.
If you can play Partey, Ceballos, and Xhaka, in that midfield, that's cold, bro. Like, that's cold.
But then you give up the 3 at the back or the 5 at the back. So I don't know if Arteta's going to do that. Obviously,
you can, but even if you don't, bro, like if you play the 5 at the back and you've got the 2 in the engine room, it doesn't matter. Even if you play Xhaka and Partey, what Partey gives you, in terms of just steal and that in the midfield, you don't have that, bro.
No, we don't.
Like, you don't have that. So you've added something to the team that wasn't already there. Do you see what I'm saying?
Let me ask both of you then, Rants, let me start with you. Do you see Arsenal getting top 4 now?
If they don't get it, they'll be very close. That's one thing, bro. Because the thing is, one thing that this manager's got you doing, he's got you getting points when you're not particularly playing amazing, innit? And you're improving, bro. Do you know what I mean? And you've got someone that challenges for the Golden Boot every season. So that means you're going to be there or thereabouts, like just based on that. If you're defensively better and you're still scoring goals, bro, you can't be too far away.
Yeah, and before I move on to you, Rob, because of what Rant said there about getting results and not playing well, again, I just want to mention before asking you about it is, let's not forget, Unai Emery was pretty much getting results and not performances. And yes, it lacked direction under Emery, but he was a point off top 4, 2 finals, Europa League and League Cup. Yes, we lost both of them, but that season we look back on it as a failure. So, Rob, do you think we'll get top 4? And if we don't, is it a failure on Arteta?
I still wouldn't say it's a failure. I still think I agree with Rants. We're getting closer. I think bringing in Partey gives us a good chance to get top 4. I've looked at all the teams in the mix. I think there's a lot of very even teams out there. And you've got to throw Leicester into that. You've got to throw Wolves. You know what I mean? So there's a lot of very even teams. A lot of teams that have got good players. But getting Partey in gives us a very good chance because we've got a decent team now. Yeah. And then remember, you've got players like Martinelli to come back up front and stuff like that. So that improves the squad as well. So I I think we have a good shout of getting into the top four. At the start of the season, before the signings and that, I was like, United, it'd be United or Chelsea, we'd probably be fifth. But now, after what I've seen, it's too early to tell. It's only 4 games. Season's just started, but I think we got someone. I forgot Everton.
Can't forget them. You can't forget them. They're going to be thereabouts. I think they're better than Leicester for me right now.
Everton again, that's what I'm saying. If you look at Everton, how they've strengthened, it's in the right areas.
Yeah, that's all it takes. It's not quantity of players. It's quality.
Free midfielders, Usmanov.
Because they bought what they needed.
Our guy,
man.
Right? You know what I mean? And but they've strengthened in the right areas, right? And even today they brought in a defender as well. So it's really, really positive, I think, for Arsenal. And I think with the manager we got, he's made us a lot harder to beat. And I think Partey will make us harder to beat again. So it's positive, man. I'm very positive in the outlook for Arsenal. You know what I mean? I really am. You know, we've seen recently coming up against some of the bigger teams. We're standing up to, in those performances now. So we got a good chance of that top 4. We really do.
I think if I look at it now, I said we got a good chance. It's similar to last season though, Rob. I said we got a good chance because I don't feel Man United did well in the transfer market last summer. I don't feel Chelsea couldn't do anything. Tottenham didn't do much. So I thought to myself, based off what they've done, I've got some hope for top 4. And it's similar now. I look at United indifferent. Tottenham, okay, they've stepped it up, but they've been indifferent. Liverpool, Man City even, they're doing a mad thing at times. So it makes me think there's hope there, but it's the belief in the team that I lack. And I hope they prove me wrong because there's players in there that are going to start week in, week out that I still,
years of hurt. You know what I mean?
Tottenham have had a good window, bro. Like they've had a very good window, but it's in the fabric of their club to just be shit. So it doesn't matter what they've done; they're still not going to do nothing. You know, like that. That's just what it is, bro. I think they'll fall away at the end, like they always do, innit? Like, and it's just one of them ones. I think that Leicester will fall away at the end. I think Wolves will fall away at the end. I think it's going to be the usual suspects, yeah, and possibly Everton because Carlo has the know-how when the pressure's on to play the right team, make the right changes, get the right results, bro. I think that out of all them teams, yeah, like I'm looking at Everton and I'm thinking if anyone's going to be a dark horse this year, it'll be them. Like I'm not really feeding the Leicester thing. I'm the Wolves thing as well. Like Wolves got pammed by like Newcastle or something, innit? Like, yeah, for me, Wolves, they've lost Jota, like, and it's just like, they're not stronger than they were last season when I look at them. So they're a good team, but I don't think they're stronger than they were last season, innit? And I think that Everton are considerably stronger than they were last season. 100%. So when I'm looking at it, and even Chelsea, bruv, like with Lampard, you just don't know which way it's gonna go, bruv. Like it hasn't clicked for them. There's no guarantee that it is gonna click for them. Do you know what I mean? Like it's up in the air, bruv. If I'm completely honest.
What was you gonna say, Rob?
I'm gonna have to shoot now.
Yeah.
But thanks for having me on. And as I just want to say one thing, right? This is the first time in a long time on transfer deadline day, I'm not looking at everybody else jealous. Arsenal actually making the news, in a good way. So, let's...
it's like the Ozil year again, when the last day we was getting Ozil and no one else was doing their thing.
I don't. And how did that turn out?
Don't
you got a few FA Cups out of it, bro. It's all right.
Yeah. No, listen. This morning I was vexed. I was angry, bro. You know what I mean? And I was saying to myself, tonight I'm preparing up my rant because I'm going hard tonight.
You were angry. Imagine me.
Yeah, exactly. I was going, this is not good enough for Arsenal, and I'm going in hard tonight because they can't keep doing this to the fans. But the Partey thing now has changed a lot of things. And we can, and now we know why yesterday Arteta was pretty confident, wasn't he? He was still saying, don't worry.
Yeah, 36 hours, he said. 36 hours.
Yeah. So, but listen, I'm sorry I have to go.
No worries, Rob, man. Love for coming on, man.
And do some stuff. But thanks, Rants. Big up, bro.
Nice one, bro.
Come on, love, Rob, man. Take care, man.
Respect.
In a bit. Yeah, Rants. So tell me, man. ideally, number one name you want to see when you look at 10 p.m. for United?
Oh, I need Jaden, bro. Like, and if man don't get Jaden, I need Usman in it. If I don't get either of them two, fuck these man in it. You know what I'm saying? It's a mad thing. It's a mad thing. The club's a joke anyway, bro. I've been saying it now. I don't respect them. There's nothing about that club I respect. They're jokers. Do you know what I'm saying? I'm stuck with them now, bro. This is football, innit?
It's what it is, I like.
Man, I'm stuck with them, bro. Like, man's been a fan my whole life. I'm stuck with them, but they're pussies. Like, I don't rate them. You know what I mean? Not at all, bro. I'm laughing at them. Like, they're clowns. I can't take them seriously. Bruv, all the corner I get from other fans, I just got to hold it, bruv. I watched them man get Pam 6-1 in their own backyard, fam.
Bro, you're like me, you know, fam. After like 6-7 years of Arsenal, I was bantering earlier. I was trying to hold my own, yeah. And then you reach a point where you're like, am I a dickhead, bro?
I can't defend these, man. Then I look like a prick. Nah.
I know my team's dead.
Yeah, I can't defend them, bro. Like, nah, there's none. Like, I could be roasting, man, but why should I? Like, why should I? I shouldn't defend them. Why? Like, why should I care about the club more than the owners? Loud.
Trust me. But listen, Nippon, it's not an open stream. I'm about to leave now anyway. I have Rants. Tell them when you're on. There's 2.4K in the live.
Bro, like 10:30, bro. Like deadline stream tonight, bruv. The window closes at 11, bruv. So man's going live at 10:30. There's gonna be
send me the link. I might log in for it.
Yeah, I'll send you the link. There's gonna be bare people on the show, bruv. Bare people on the show. Man, I got man from Tottenham, Liverpool, Leeds, Chelsea, Arsenal, everything, bruv. Man, a bare man on the show, bruv. So like it's gonna be a nut show. Like yesterday's show is streaming like 20 seconds, trending on YouTube at the moment. Do you know what I mean? Like it's mad, isn't it? Like that's what we're doing, bro. Like just top content, getting all the man them involved, man, and just sharing our football opinions. No bullshit. So
come on, bro.
Tonight's gonna be juicy. Hopefully, I'm celebrating the signing. Do you know what I'm saying? I want it to be good vibes, but fam, either way, the show has to go on, innit?
Yeah, come on, bro. Love for coming on as well on my channel. Everyone, make sure you go to Rants' channel, subscribe if you haven't. He's going live later. The way United have moved, you don't want to miss that. Make sure you hit the like button before we leave. And that's about it.